Hello, 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 and welcome, my Sagittarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Path of True Love reading for August 2020 or Timeless. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional wedge, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but your dad just calls me Mal. Hey guys, how you all doing? Welcome back, my subscribers. Look, I'm in my parents' basement. I'm in the basement, learning to print. All of it's hot, myself included, apparently. I am up in Saratoga, visiting my family for a couple of days. The truth is my new used RAV4, my Toyota RAV4. If any of you follow me on social media, know that I named him Dorian because he's gray. I get free servicing when I buy it, when I bring it back to where I bought it from in Saratoga. So I get to see my parents every 3 months, and it's really, really nice here. I am in the basement, which is like sub-zero cold, and it is 80 degrees outside, so I'm digging it. So welcome back. Thank you for your love and support, my Sagittarians. I know a certain Maul Flanders is watching this video because she's a Sagittarian. Hey, Maul. Give my love to Meow Meow Dollface. Can't wait to see you all again. And honestly, all of you, I know we misuse the word journey, but this really has been a journey for me. Remember, I used to read people face to face for decades. So you've really been wonderful. And now that I'm monetized and everything, it's just really cool doing what I love in this format. And you can't get more social distance than on the other side of a camera, right? So if you are new to my channel, please do consider liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and commenting below, because I'm the fun one. And I'm not an invisible, just moving hands reader. You get to see me, which everybody's got their style. But I wasn't born a Leo rising to not be on camera. Are we all in agreement? Good. That I don't take myself that seriously. Let's get down to business. This is a general reading. Path of True Love reading, but general, for the Sagittarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. We are doing a GPS read, which means essentially a Celtic cross spread with a couple of clarifiers thrown in. 13 cards total, looking from above down at where you are, the current trajectory of the Path of True Love. The Path of True Love is your spiritual path, your healing path, your hero's journey, your healing journey through your relationships, right? Establishing healthier, more empowering, clear, boundaried, all of that kind of stuff. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise relationships that are all to make you better regardless of what they look like, which is why a GPS reading, helpful, right? So all I really need you to do is breathe, because even if, court cards pop up that you might be in relationship with, this is not all romantic, sexual. It can involve family, right? Friends, co-workers, employees, bosses, all that kind of stuff. It's still about you, right? Because we're all one. So this is really more of a unity consciousness level of reading, not when are they going to come back or what do they think of you, at least not this time around. So I think you'll get the gist of it if you're new. Otherwise, my subscribers, you know the tea. Let's spill some across the hassock, because it's not really a table. I'll take a picture and post it later. But it's a really big hassock. It's the size of a table, because I'm the child of Zeus and Hera, apparently, who are upstairs watching the news all day long. So I'm glad to be down here. All right, we ready to rock and roll? All I need you to do is focus on your breath, stay in the present moment, so you can take what resonates, leave what does not, and I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can. Good. Checklist out of the way. Let's rock and roll. Breathe. All right, here we go. First read of the day in the basement. Oh, my collective pantheons. Ready? I call, all the decks that I read are in the description box all the way at the bottom. There's some other cool links you might want to check out. We're going to start with Healing with the Angels, Oracle by Dorian Virtue, to get you the healing angel that is walking with you on your path of true love for August 2020 and beyond. Timeless. Whenever you're supposed to see it is when you see it. Here we go. Oh, hello, my angels and archangels. I know we're in constant communication, but this is different when I do a reading. Please, can you get me one card in clarity for the Sagittarian Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the Path of True Love for August 2020 or Timeless, whenever they are supposed to be watching this? Who is the angel, the healing angel that walks with them on the Path of True Love for August 2020 or Timeless? New love. Ding, 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 ding. Now keep in mind that does not automatically say this is romantic sexual. I just like to stress that because so many YouTube readers only focus on that, and that's their gig. But I know happiness doesn't come through relationships. Happiness comes through how you heal as a result of being in before, during, or after those relationships. So this new love could totally be about a new love of self, a new love of someone, a new love coming into your life, a new love for, I don't know, pottery, whatever, but that it is a healing angel. Perhaps this is an opportunity to look at love with fresh new eyes. Before we go any further with the Celtic cross, though, and it's a 10-position spread, we'll get there. This time around, my God said, not only get them an angel first card down, get them a healing mantra card from the Healing Mantra deck by KAHN, so that we have something to refer to, because this will cover a great deal of ground in terms of you working the path of true love in a way that helps you heal, regardless of what anybody else does. Now, isn't that empowering? No matter what anybody else does, you still get to heal, even if they don't. Breathe. Because I just love calling in the Ascended Masters in my parents' house. It's like having boys over. Hi, my Ascended Masters. Wow, a bunch of you today. Oh, is it because I'm in the mountains? Just closer to you all? Whatever. Please, my Ascended Masters. One card in clarity, the perfect healing mantra for this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Please, what is the perfect mantra for them for the month of August 2020 or timeless on the path of true love, considering the angel that walks with them is the angel of new love that can be very exciting regardless of the form? What is the angel they most what is the healing mantra that they most need to help them, to heal them, that they can work silently or aloud August 2020 or timeless? Processing grief. Now that does make sense with new love. Because my losses prove how deeply I love. Now you have to forgive me. I have overhead lighting here, those sort of like inset stovepipes kind of sorta. So bear with me. Bear with me on the lighting. It is beyond my control. But that would make sense. You're still processing grief while new love is sort of around you. So seeing through a glass darkly, or if you like, you know, there were some dead bugs on the windscreen, on the windshield, right? You need to clean that stuff off. Processing grief. Now I'm going to read you what's in the book for this, but the mantra itself, losses prove how deeply I loved. So if you can, it's a Matt Kahn book, whatever arises, love that. Allow yourself to feel that grief. No one is taught how to process grief. No, I mean, we're getting better at it, grief support groups and stuff like that. But I watched a TED Talk a couple of months ago, actually more than a couple of months ago. A brilliant woman, forget her name, said essentially that unprocessed grief, repressed grief turns into anxiety. So if you're having anxiety issues, right, it's the fear of loss underneath, but it's pushing it down. And so it infects as well as effects, or affects, if you like, your entire nervous system. So processing grief. My losses prove how deeply I loved. Past tense. When grief is processed, you are able to notice the maturity you gained even when losing the people, places, and things that once defined your sense of self. And in that loss and that grief can have a beauty to it, right? That you loved so deeply that you didn't do anything wrong. You poured out your heart, perhaps. And you can't get this stuff wrong, but you do have free will as to when you want to process grief. So particularly if you were in a relationship that you identified with. When my first husband and I broke up, it was in the 90s. It wasn't a legal marriage. It was not a legal marriage. Because I was a gay man in my 20s who was married, it was certain identity at the time. You know, HIV and AIDS sort of rampant. So when that ended, like, it was an ego death. It wasn't even about the relationships. So there was a lot of grief that I did not have the power, the know-how to process at the time. Now I do. Thank you, farm boy. You taught me how to process grief. Ignorant fuck. Anyway, sorry. As you process grief, you are able to celebrate how deeply you committed to love instead of holding a grudge towards those who left or couldn't love you back. Did I just call farm boy? Ignorant fuck. I guess I did. Once grief is fully processed, it can ignite a deeper commitment to love. Absolutely. You know that your alignment with Source is not a matter of what comes or goes. It is determined by how much of yourself you are willing to share. And that's why I'm loving doing this stuff, because I get naked, if you will, emotionally, spiritually here for you all. I'm willing to share everything I learned. Help us all get through this. This mantra is ideal for opening back up to love, because there's a new love. This angel of new love is prepping you. Rebuilding trust, great, big, huge, and addressing heartache. Seems pretty accurate to me, at least for a jumping off point. I'm just trying to clear the decks that I use as I'm done using them, because I don't trust this hassock, this footrest, whatever it is. It's got beveled edges. It just feels like everything's going to fall off the side. Let's see if we can keep it from doing that. Daughters of the Moon Tarot will be the voices of the gods and the goddesses. Here comes our Celtic cross spread. The GPS part of it, I will call out the positions as I go. Nice deep breath. My gods and my goddesses sacred, please. I need 10 cards, a Celtic cross GPS spread for this Sagittarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for August 2020 or timeless. Considering that the angels are talking about new love and the masters are talking about processing grief, please, I will call these out one at a time. Where is this Sagittarius collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love? What's the card that covers them? What is the card that crosses them? What is the card at the core of the path for them? What is behind them on the path of true love? August 2020 or timeless. What crowns them on the path? What's before them on the path? What is their lesson on the path? No. What is their close but no cigar? What is their lesson on the path? In other words, that card was close, but there was one that was better. How does the world see them, their path, or them on the path of true love? August 2020 or timeless. From the outside looking in, please. The world position. I have amazing reflexes. You should see me in bed. Whoop! Don't fall. Okay. What is their destiny, their fate, being alchemized to destiny on the hero's journey aspect of the path of true love, their hopes and fears, all the same thing, by the way. And what is their most likely, possible, the most highly probable outcome, considering this timeline of this lifetime that they are on, Sagittarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, path of true love, August 2020 or timeless. Let's do this. Okay, spread these out a little. I do have more room than I thought. So, let's put that up there. What is the card that covers you? This represents you. And are you just starting with the Two of Cups? Yeah, we all know the Two of Cups. You watch one video on YouTube that has the Two of Cups in it. And it's true love. Well, it's an attraction. In this deck, the Daughters of the Moon, it is the whirlpool. Two cups on the opposite sides of a whirlpool, but slowly coming together. Can be somebody you know, but I would say that really does match the vibe of a new love. Feels like this person's already in your energy field for you to be feeling that attraction, unless it's just that intuitive sense of, oh, something's coming, or someone's coming, or I'm coming, something's happening, right? So feeling that really clear for you. This actually feels fun and a little carbonated, right? It's got little bubbles in it. Flirty, getting the flirty vibe here. What crosses you on the path? You got the card of the Lovers. I'm going to say this is romantic sexual, just first two cards, right? You may still very much be processing grief. Now, does this mean that this is a new love with the same person that you are processing the grief from? Keep in mind, you can be processing grief from someone that you lost through death, right? Someone that you lost, in other words, they're not coming back. Unless they reincarnate, but at that point they're a child, right? But this could very much be, because it's a life-changing decision you're faced with, this could be about letting somebody back in. that you had already been processing the grief from. Either way, because that's going to play itself out differently depending on who's watching this. Such a great, big, huge, life-changing decision. With the Two of Cups where you are right now, it's not that you can't trust your gut, but if you're still got that grief going on inside of you, you really don't want to carry too much of that forward. Now, that's just psychologically wise. I'm going to just say that just as somebody who's still in a process of processing grief. I mean, I let go of, I believe, one of the greatest true loves of my life because I wasn't going to be the other man anymore. Common story nowadays. But, you know, what we're going through on planet Earth seems to be boiling to the surface, what's important to people. So I can relate to that. Well, if he comes back, am I ready? What's at the core, right? What's going on inside of you? Five of Cups, you're at storm. You're at the storm. Emotionally, there is still a lot of emotional upset going on inside of you, but it is subconscious. In other words, you're doing a great job managing it on the outside. And not that you're not managing it on the inside. We all heal at our own pace and in our own ways, right? Course in Miracles says there's a highly individualized curriculum for each and every one of us, and no question, this is part of your curriculum. But with 3 cards down, 2 of them being water, right? The Two of Cups and the Five of Cups. So though there is, where you are, this attraction, this vibe, a second chakra push and pull, perhaps, that second chakra alignment, umbilical. But with the Major Arcana card of the Lovers, really, you know what I'm getting? That the head might be going, oh no, oh no, oh no, and the heart's going, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, and the throat that has to choose might be going, can you guys get it together? Because emotionally, there's some unprocessed guilt, grief. Well, maybe that's a Jungian slip there. Is there guilt? Underneath the grief or mixed in is there guilt. Now, what I mean by that is if you've made them guilty, there's still guilt in your energy field. That's the second chakra for you, right? If you're like, how could they? They did this and they did that. That's got to come out in the process too. So that might be the emotional storm. But keep in mind, all storms pass and they leave the air clearer as a result. You may be able to see things clearly. I would just say, as far as right now, go easy on yourself. Where are you coming from? The card of celebration in this deck is the card of judgment, where something has been thrown out in clarity, right? You see it. A final judgment has been made. Now, I know people can see this as a reconciliation card. Because it's behind you, it might more be like all the pieces of the puzzle hit the table and you sort of figured things out a little bit. The card of judgment, right? We're so used to seeing it in this biblical proportions of Revelation, right? The book of Revelation, right? Gabriel's horn and people popping out of coffins, like all of a sudden they're daywalkers. But to get that sense, in this deck it's celebration, that there's been some sort of completion of a circle, yet this is the card of judgment, not the universe. Yes, it can mean that something was revealed from the past, or this past relationship that you're still processing grief with, and that even though the Two of Cups is in your present moment, that attraction, you still know there's some underground, you know what I mean? Like, it might be a question of trust going on here. But it does feel like if something has not completed, because it's the card of judgment, it's not the card of the world. The card of the world really is the end of the cycle. This is like the revelation before the end of the cycle. So do you want to jump into something new? But then again, that really would indicate that this is the same person coming around maybe to close this puppy up. What crowns you? More of the immediate future. Three of Blades, and aren't you glad I'm using the Daughters of the Moon? Because the Three of Swords we so associate with heartbreak. Although heartbreak to me would be a water card, not an air card, this is about focus. This is about what? Getting to the heart of the matter, which is kind of more what I feel like, oh my god, her name just went out of my head. Oh my god, her name, the woman who, Pixie to her friends, who painted the Rider-Waite Tarot. Pamela Coleman Smith. Oh yeah, she's one of my guides. She's like, that it really is about the convergence of the three swords into a central point, getting to the heart of the matter. Focus, that's more of a mind thing. So this is probably telling you to look within, go within, deal with this. Deal with this storm card, because storms pass, but sometimes you just need to get wet, right? You need to allow that grief to process through. You know, not the easiest thing in the world, and certainly the mental health professionals are there for you, right? Even free, and since so many of us are experiencing isolation anyway, might be a good time to sort of go within and resolve, process some of this grief, so that you can make it clear-headed. It feels like if you don't kind of do that, you're going to go purely on emotion. And I know people say, follow your heart. You know, unless you're a homicidal maniac, then don't follow your heart, right? It's with the card of the Lovers, it's really about making, catch this, loving, wise, empowered decisions. And this is a decision. This is, do you let them stay or do you let them go? Or do you stay or do you let them go? It could be a clash. I'm sorry. It's a 1980s musical reference. I'm prone to them. Let's keep it sunny, keep it funny, keep it gay, because where you are going, what's before you on the path, is the Aquarian card. And although we can see this as an Aquarian sun, moon, rising, whoever, whatever, what I'm getting off of this is as the result of you taking this Three of Blades time to really focus inward. And I want to point out there's a maiden, a mother, and a crone, all sitting in meditation with a pyramid behind them, a symbol of three, and the Sphinx, the riddle of the Sphinx, the mystery of it all. So there is some unknown stuff going on here, but the answers are within you, but might be hard to get while there is a storm brewing. So what is Aquarius? Ixchel, the eagle woman. She flies on the eagle, which flies highest seas furthest. And if you can tell, she's got scissors in her hand, sort of cutting away that which no longer serves, usually in terms of belief system, right? What it is that you think here. So there is clarity coming. But rather than paying money to stalk somebody online through what been verified or whatever that is to get you the data that you want, this is saying pull up, see from the highest perspective you can, which is paradoxical, that as you focus in, C.S. Lewis, last book of the Chronicles of Narnia, deeper in and higher up, or further in and higher up. So it's about going in and up and seeing it from this larger perspective. Although somebody with perhaps some kind of Aquarian patterning, even if it's not in their chart, might be able to help you do that. Like what? A therapist that can help you process grief. A therapist, a counselor, even a good friend. Look, not everybody needs to go to a psychiatrist. There are different levels of healing therapy, right? Psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor. And then, of course, there are your confidants, right? The people in your life that you can kind of vomit your grief up to, and they love you and they'll hold that space for you. Because I really feel like with this card in the past, and this is so far the trickiest one here, that something was revealed. I just don't know if it's directly well, I guess in a general reading, say I'm used to reading one person. That could be from past relationship where an infidelity or some secret was revealed. But now it brings you into this present moment that if this is a whole new person, a whole new love in your life, that you really need to kind of process some of that stuff so that you can move into this one cleanly. You're only at a 2. It's a good time to do that. But if this is the same person returning, where you haven't quite put the period at the end of the sentence rather than a question mark, I don't know. I do feel like the higher you can fly and see this from the larger picture, a GPS sort of thing from the satellite, satellite of love, looking down, bouncing off the satellites, a lot of B-52's energy in the room here. That's going to really, really help. What's your lesson? Temperance. Temperance, be patient, be kind, be balanced. Temperance is not an easy process. Tempering eggs is my favorite new metaphor for that because I had to learn how to do it. If you add eggs to something hot too fast like a soup, it will curdle, which is great for egg drop soup, but not great for hollandaise, right? So what do you have to do? You have to gently add warmer liquid to it to gently raise its temperature so the egg does not curdle. So it takes time, it takes pressure, it takes patience, it takes heat, right? To make tempered steel, for example. They kick the crap out of that stuff, but they make it unbreakable as a result. So a healing balance is what your lesson is right now. Balancing your fire and your water. Though there are no fire cards on the table so far, your desire, what you want, needs to be balanced with your emotions. And that's why if there's more water than fire, it puts out the fire. More fire than water, it evaporates the water. You have to find the balance. Otherwise your eggs will curdle, and who needs that? Unless, of course, you want them to. From the outside looking in, 7 of Blades. Now, 7 of Blades in traditional tarot is something sneaky, sneaky. That's not this card. I love Fiona Morgan. I would have loved to have met her. I emailed her once and I said, I hope you don't mind, I'm a gay male who loves it. She's like, oh no, you wonderful darling. I think she's Australian. Haven't heard from her since. But it's meditation, right? And very indicative of this 3 of Cups, getting to the heart of the matter, perhaps through meditation, that you are on pause right now. Or you could just say to somebody, look, to the world even, I'm taking my time, right? Everything in the world has slowed down. Take advantage of that. And process what needs to be processed inside of you. Now, what I find so interesting is you've got 3 air cards so far, still 2 more cards to go, but in balance to those 2 water cards, right? So we really are looking at something mental, emotional here, with possibly a person coming into your life to help you with this. Now, I'm hearing from one of my guides that this might be the new love coming into your life that helps you see this all differently and helps you process your grief. My sense is, though, if this is somebody that's coming in, regardless of whether they're an air sign, you see, that's why I don't get into the zodiac signs so much, because if I say it's an Aquarius and they're a Pisces, you're going to ignore them, right? You don't know their chart. You don't know them, right? Who walks around with their charts memorized or in their hands? Virgo Sun, Pisces Moon, Leo Rising, can't you tell? This could be really still taking a time of saying, look, let me meditate on this. This is a lot for me. This is a lot to digest. I just need to what? Be still and know, right? This is an ice fisher, right? You can't really see the hole in the ice there, but there it is, right? And so she's got her spear hovering. For that moment, the fish comes in, dinner, right? Inuit dinner. But a lovely, lovely card. I love that she has a husky with her. If I ever got another dog again, I would get a husky because they talk. Your destiny, the hero's journey. Another major arcana card that makes 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 10 so far. The Chariot, the Amazon. So where you are on the hero's journey right now is about taking control and moving forward. My sense, however, is because you are faced with this decision, and you don't rush with this. Don't rush the Lovers. Do not rush the Lovers. Take your time to be congruent. This is a Carolyn Mace thing. When the head says yes and the heart says no, the throat has to choose, and it will usually choose is something habitual or addictive, right? The same thing we've always done, because we know how that works. But because it's a new love, you might have to do this one differently. Take your time. The Chariot doesn't mean you can't slow your roll. And remember, it is considered the Cancerian card. Even the shield that the Amazon is holding is a crescent moon. So to kind of balance out, my sense is again with the Chariot, you have the light horse and the dark horse there. You may be feeling different ways about this. Really, really excited and yet really, really terrified, which is good for roller coaster rides. And let's face it, a lot of romantic relationships are exactly like that, right? It's like you wait a long time, junk, 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 and then you meet the money, but then there's work, junk, 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 and then ups and downs, ups and downs. You have to deal with that within yourself, and it's okay. I mean, who shouldn't deal with that? We should all deal with the conflicting emotions, allowing both to have their voices until you get what Caroline Mace, I love her so much, calls congruency, where you make the most loving, wise, right? The most loving, wise, empowered choice that you can, which can very much be communicating, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but I need some time. I'll call you maybe, right? Just Carly Rae Jepsen does a little bit. Jeptum, whatever, septum. So take your time with that. Because your outcome card is the Six of Blades. Very glad to see it. And this deck called Manipulation, but this is like a therapy card. This is saying, oh, look at this differently. I have to look at this differently. Traditional tarot, right? Rider-Waite, it's the gondola. Moving from choppy water to smooth water through a mental process. Yeah, there's a huge divine opportunity for you here. And why I say that, you've got 4 major arcana cards: the Judgment card, the Lover's card, the Temperance card, and the Chariot, all about this process of decision-making and healing and moving forward into a new love. But if you're trailing process grief, my losses prove how deeply I loved. Oh, they're giving me Louise Hay metaphor. Louise Hay said in... I think it was You Can Heal Your Life, that if you have a frying pan and one night you fry fish in it and the next morning you want scrambled eggs or fried eggs, I love fried eggs, over easy, bacon and ketchup on a roll because I'm from New York, she'll say you really want to clean out that frying pan, right? So you don't have the little bits of fish in your eggs, unless you like caviar, but that ain't the same thing. So there's really an opportunity for you here to, in a healthy way, manipulate the mind rather than having your mind manipulated, to go within, work with the divine, whatever your higher power is. And that's what this last card is going to indicate. The Whispers of Love Oracle. The higher selves of all involved. Not just your higher self, but the higher selves of all involved. And that can involve this Aquarian person, if that's who this is, a new love. This can be the person returning to your life if it's a different person, or, you know, or someone new. So let's ask the higher selves. Let's see what we got. The higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity. What is the Whisper of Love? The piece of insight, inspiration, or information most truly helpful for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love. August 2020, or timeless. What is their whisper of love? Let's put this last card down for them. It's the ABBA card. Take a chance on love. When we start to love, our lives are changed forever. Now, I'm not telling you to do that. Your own higher selves, the higher selves of all involved, are telling you to do that. This is a very, very clear indication that as you process grief, even little by little, look, I know when we get a card like process grief, we want to like get in there and like clean it all up like company's coming. Because company's coming, really. But take your time. You are worth taking your time, healing your heart, making room, allowing this grief not to be, gotten rid of, but to alchemize that lead of the pain of grief into the gold of availability, right? Creating room. Because honestly, my losses prove how deeply I love is such a truth. So in a way, the more it hurts, the more deeply you love, the more you process that, the larger your heart is to love even more. It's like working out. You got to break down the muscle in order for it to heal and rebuild stronger. So I will pop up the larger picture of this and we'll see what else comes. Shall we? Let's sit Indian style. I guess we're not supposed to say that anymore. Cross-legged, just fine. Please don't cancel me for that. I was raised by a nursery school teacher. That's what they called it. Breathe. Magic clap. Because we start you with this card, the guardian angel for you, if you like, on the path here is the angel of new love. And with the ascended master saying processing grief is really the healing mantra for you, my losses prove how deeply I loved, then it does make sense that you are being prepared for something new coming in, whether it's the return of somebody old, I hate to use that word, but somebody from your past is probably better, or somebody brand new coming in. Obviously, you have been through the love wars before. You have some scars, some grief, some baggage. Who doesn't, right? Even past life stuff we carry. So that would make sense that the card that crosses you right now, that covers you, I should say, is the card of the Whirlpool. The Two of Cups. It is tentative, but there is an attraction going on here. You are being pulled together by divine design. With the card of the Lovers crossing you, you get, on some level, the import. This is important. This is a challenge. This, I really have to make sure I am deciding wisely, because I'm even going to reflect over to that card of the Amazon in your 9th position, your destiny. One foot's on the gas, one foot's on the brake. It just is. Your heart is saying, perhaps your heart is saying yes, your head is saying no, or vice versa. So to make a wise, empowering, loving decision here, it's gonna take some time, because that 5 of Cups really, on the inner, says your interior world is at storm. There's probably some anger mixed in with that grief, meaning that probably it's not that somebody died, somebody lied, right? And you might be feeling victimized and deceived a little bit on all of that, but this storm will pass. And why I say the possibility of deception is because we've got that card of celebration now. You wouldn't necessarily celebrate a deception, but you might celebrate the freedom that comes by a deception being revealed. Now, if this is the same person, it might be a question of what was revealed to you was something that opened your heart to them. But more likely, and I'm feeling this for a larger percentage of the collective here, something was revealed about this past relationship where you really got to celebrate, hey, I did the best I could. My losses prove how deeply I loved. I truly loved. Remember, this is the path of true love. And for context, for some of you, it might have been about a parent or a family member in the past that is preparing you for this more romantic thing. Path of true love is holographic, right? A healing of the heart is a healing of the heart, regardless of the form of relationship in which the healing or the wound is delivered. That was deep. Thank you, my gods, my goddesses, because you're moving into the crowning position here of the 3 of Blades, focused. Perhaps your heart has been broken, perhaps you are indeed grieving, but this is now moving you into a mental process saying, okay, then it's time to focus on this. Not that it be the only thing I focus on, it's a 3, right? It's not the 9, it's not the 8 or the 9 of Blades, but that I can really focus on this in terms of my own healing on the path of true love, and as a result of that, this Crone of Blades, Ixchel, the Eagle Woman, the Aquarius card, flies into your life. Now, this could be, again, somebody from the past, somebody you haven't met yet that's going to play itself out differently, or this could be, like we said before, a therapist, a counselor, or a confidant that can really help you see this from the higher position, because even in her lantern, there is a star, very much like the Hermit card in the Rider-Waite deck. So she's flying high, she's seeing clear, and she's snipping away those threads of illusion that aren't real, right? The things that no longer serve. And an Aquarian can do that. They can really see the larger picture and see what's no matchy. Beware of no matchy syndrome, that your face don't match your arms, don't match your chest. Thank you, Willem. Your lesson, temperance. Take your time. Do not push yourself on this. It is going to be rigorous enough to go through this 5 of Cups storm going on inside of you so that you can, take a chance on love? You really want to clean that frying pan. It's a horrible image. But you really want to clean that frying pan, that you take your time balancing your fire and water. Because if the fire is just raging and the water is hesitant, it's not going to work well. This is a brilliant lesson for you to heal and move forward. And they're giving me a rather old metaphor. When a bone breaks and re-heals, the place of the break is stronger than it was before it broke. And that's just medical, right? That's just true. Maybe not for everybody, but it's true. So keep in mind this process of patience and healing and temperance, perhaps even interior alchemy, worth it. And from the outside looking in, you're in a phase of meditation anyway. Just remember the type of meditation we're talking about here isn't so much about stilling the mind, but relaxing into and allowing the internal feelings, the water under the ice there in that 7 of Blades, right? Waiting for this healing to happen, participating, but I don't want to say more passive than active, but definitely more yin than yang. I would say really check out Matt Kahn's work, Whatever Arises, love that. It's a great book. I just open it now like divination. It tells me what I need. That's called bibliomancy. Stitchomancy. Bibliomancy is using the Bible. And where you are on the hero's journey here, the Amazon, right? Really taking control of the reins. You've got one light horse, one dark horse, perhaps pulling in opposite directions, and for you to slow your roll on this. Do not split yourself in half, particularly with that card that's crossing you, the Lover's card there. Your head and your heart might not be on the same page, but that Temperance card can absolutely help you balance that with perhaps the help either professionally or personally. And with your outcome card there of manipulation, your outcome is that you're going to see this differently anyway, and that you take a chance on love. When we start to love, our lives are changed forever. So again, no rush. The whole world has slowed down. I know, Sagittarians, you are impulsive AF, right? You just want to take your quiver of flaming arrows and just start going after what you want. But I look in this spread, I don't see any fire cards, right? I see spirit, I see the Major Arcana spirit, I see water, I see air, but I don't see any earth or fire here. So this really feels more mental, emotional, more within yourself, and that's a brilliant thing because fire needs air. So it's sort of like you're purifying your air to have a cleaner burning fire here for you to then take a chance on love. But if they're pushing you, which I'm not sensing, but if you're pushing you to do this faster than you need, get that that's the ego wanting something, and as soon as it gets it, it's going to want something else. So better to just take your time, manifest slowly, love your own heart, focus on your healing, process your grief, and prepare yourself for a new love to arrive, whether it's somebody known or someone unknown. And of course, woven into all of that is a new love for yourself as well, particularly when somebody new or somebody old returning is involved, because you have to learn to love yourself all the way through. So let me give you the blessing. May the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love, that they may accept and work and open themselves to this new love via processing the grief that they have had to deal with, knowing that their losses prove how deeply they loved, so that they can take a chance on love again as they go through this interior process of healing on the path of true love, August 2020, or timeless for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you for watching, my Saggies. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment below if this clicked for you. And let me know how it commented in the comments how it clicked for you, because I like to know and I like to see how it plays out across the quantum field of a particular sign. So I'm wishing you the very best and the very blessed with my Wonder Woman t-shirt in my parents' basement on the path of true love. Thank you so very, very, very much. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.